make sure that you see that receipt. So current balance is 49. So when you receive this 5, there should be 54. All right. And then all I need to do is save. All right. And type receipt, and it's complete. If I go to this item from here, the balance is now 54. Meaning that you have 54 items in the warehouse. But I think the process that we're going to be working on is we're going to receive this to a specific bin. All right, there'll be a bin that, and actually Clint and Monique, we need to create that bin as soon as possible, or you let us know how we can name the bin so we can create it. So then we're going to put all those items in that bin. All right.
He's talking about the staging process when we receive it and stage it.
Yes. Yes.
So you want to name it staging doc, staging doc. Yeah.
Yes. So we'll create that bin, and then all items will be received to that bin. And then after that, they will be transferred to the right bin by the folks who are going to do the put away. But that's receiving of a regular item. I mean, it's that fast and that quick. But it will be a two-stage process. We'll put the items in a certain bin, and then from that bin, we're going to transfer to a different bin. And I will do the transfer tasks later on today. These are coming up to this. All right.
Okay. So can y'all see that enough, or do y'all want to go through the meeting and share the screen and show your monitor?
I gotta look on it.
No, I'm trying to work along with it, make it help. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I already got to see that. That's what would you want it on your laptop too?
Because I made it bigger.
I can't follow along. I have to do it with that. Me, I might have the right to that. Well, we should. I just wanted to make sure everybody was good.
I'll try to make it a little bigger.
I think he would have to. Oh,
Is that better? It's blurry, yeah. Okay. Go ahead, David.
Right, yeah. And yes, Monique, since I can't hear what's being conversed, if there's any request from me or for me, just let me know, and I will either repeat or I will go through it again.
Yes.
So that's just receiving a regular item. And then I know we had some assets. I'm going to look for that PO. Let's see. And as you can see, I'm navigating around the application. You can either go from, you can click on the chevron sign. And don't be afraid to click on these little chevron signs, wherever you see them, or whatever, you see the maximum, you're not going to break anything. But we use these as shortcuts. So instead of me going to go to PO, I go to this. And the reason I use this is because I want to come back to this application, and all I need to do is click on this link. So I'm looking for a PO I generated last time that was that was had an asset and it didn't have a VLM bin. So I think it was last week. So I'm gonna do anything that was created between that and that. Okay, there we go. So I found those two. Let me see. Is that a question?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna use this PO. I click on it, and then I say, so I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna copy that, then click on saving, go to list view, do that, All right. And then I'm going to show receipt of this. So let's view, click on it, and select ordered items. So 20 ordered, we've already received 10. Check that. I'm gonna receive 5. I need 10 here because I want to show you something else, and say okay. All right, here it's 10. This is today's date. So this one I'm going to, then when I'm, maybe I just, I just checked it, but I hadn't counted the number of items that were in the case, in the box. And then I realized, oops, there are only 5 items. So you can actually change here before you do anything. You can change to 5. So if you click on that dialog box and realize that the items that you had selected are less or more, you can actually change it over here. So this item has been marked for inspection. So as you can see, the status is waiting inspection. So I save it. All right, and it's not been received. It's waiting inspection. So you communicate with the planning team, and the planning team is going to change inspection status for this item. They can decide whether they're going to reject it or not and put the comments in there. So assuming everything is good, click OK, and it's complete. Now that step, you're going to delay each step so that it can be a 2-step process. So what's going to happen is that once they click OK, it's not going to go to complete. The receiving folks will have to come back and complete the receipt. So that is being worked on by Interlock. This is how out-of-box Maximo works, but for your team, you require 2-step process. So that's being worked on. All right, and that is receiving an item that is due inspection. So let me look for an item with asset. Another item here. Have somebody who has their computer with Teams. Okay, like one. All right. So it's supposed to wait in asset. All right. Save it. It's condition enabled. So we will go to the condition of this particular one. Oh. Condition. So I think it's a rebuild. And then we're going to receive rotating items. All right. Someone wondering what's happening there. It's a lot of noise.
Yeah, we're adding everybody so they can look on their computer to show your screen.
Oh, okay. Then I'll
Yeah, and I'm getting everybody to mute, so I'll.
Yeah, so you want me to continue? You want me to wait until you're done so that everybody's on speed?
I think.
There are people that have gone into the other meeting. So we either need to join this meeting or that one.
This one.
I'll add them.
everybody see it? Can everybody see the screen? Y'all ready? Are we good? Okay, y'all good? All right. We're good, David.
All right. So for this, I'll go back and do this one again. Wait. Okay, that one is already going to allow me to delete. And I'll do it again. So this is for rotating asset, a rotating item, and for a rotating item, we have to create a rotating asset. Click on receiving rotating item, auto number, serial number.
Slow down a little bit, please.
I mean, I have to start this one again just to go through. Since a lot of folks were going through the whole computer thing. Enter serial number, click OK, and a new asset has been created. But I'm going to go through this again. So this is receiving a rotating item, and for you to receive a rotating item, you have to create an asset for it. So we're going to go here first. We're going to look at this item, and we're going to see that the current balance is 3. All right, and then if you click over here, you're going to see 3 assets. So that's each rotating item. You know, if it has assets in the inventory or whatever, the assets are going to be shown over here. If I remove this, it will show me all the assets for this item in whatever location it is, but it always defaults to the storeroom that you are in. All right. So let's go back to the receiving application. So we have 3 assets. We have a balance of 3. All right. So let's go ahead and all right, and select ordered items. So the quantity ordered is 4. We've already received 3 of them, so the only quantity to use 1. So we click on this checkbox over here to receive, and click OK. And the status goes to waiting asset, just telling you that you have to create an asset for this item before it's received into the storeroom. All right. All items will require a condition code. So you'll be, it's going to, if you try to save it, it's going to tell you it requires a condition code. Here, save it. It's condition enabled. You need a condition code. So you have to say when you're receiving this item, at what level were we receiving it? Since it's a rebuild item, we're going to receive it as rebuild. All right, save it. If it's a brand new item, you receive it as a new item, which is 100%. And then after that, on the left side of your screen, right here, there is receive rotating items. I click on that, and then you have a choice to auto number or create its own or create your own asset number. So for example, bus assets that would be US, rail with rail, but it's up to materials management, you know, to coordinate or decide whether, you know, how you'll be doing this, you know, whether you're just going to go ahead and do auto number, or if it's going to be bus items, you're just going to do the US. So it's up to that will have to be discussed on the items you're receiving for their irrespective departments. Then if there's a serial number, this is where you're going to enter your serial number. And then you say, okay. And then it's going to run and complete. Now, if we go back to the inventory application, complete. So if we go to the inventory application, the current balance is 4. And we go here, you should see 4. So that's how you receive the rotating item. And of course, it will go to the staging bin, and then from there, folks who are going to put it away are going to transfer it to the right bin. So that's all on receiving. Are there any questions on receiving?
Back to that screen where you had asset, and we had 4.
So I went through the receiving application. You can also do this. You can even go to your step center. You can go to inventory tracking. I can put that item over there, a copy, and then I can look for the storeroom because that's where I was receiving it. And then I can go to rotating assets tab, and it's there. So when I was going through the receiving application, it was just like a shortcut. I was trying, it was going through, but if you want to go through it, I can do that again. You go to Start Center. Go to Inventory, TR, or click on Inventory, TR. That's all your applications are going to have TR for transport. And then I'd copy the item, enter. It shows me this item and in all the different storerooms that it's in. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that one, and I click on current balance is 4, and 4 are there. All right. Any questions on receiving?
On.
What?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ron. Ron has a question. We have a question. Go ahead. He can hear you. Just talk loud. No, just go ahead and talk.
Okay. Underneath, on that screen that you're in, underneath asset, there's a group of numbers. Yes, they're all different.
Yes.
Are those self-generating for each line received?
Yes, those are the auto numbers. You know, remember when you were receiving, it asked us whether they want to do an auto number. These are unique. They're all going to be unique. These are what we call asset numbers. So if I pick up this number and I go to the asset application, go home, I do asset, let's do asset TR, and copy that. We go back to item. So another thing for those ones who are following, after you've gone through a few apps, click on this bar, it will give you the most recent apps you've been to. Kind of memorizes that for you. I do inventory, go back to that, last one, going to go to the asset. I can go to the asset from here, but I want to show you now what a different department will be doing. So whoever asset you created, assuming they are working on that asset for whatever reason, they'll be going to asset application. STR, and we're going to enter the asset number over here, hit enter, the asset shows over here. So now the assets, the guys who will be managing the assets are not going to be, don't have access to the inventory application, they'll have access to the asset application, and that's why this number has to be unique. These are the 4 numbers that you were seeing. If I do that, and I do a percent sign, okay, and then I'm going to do percent. Those are the 4 assets that we created from that PO. Now they appear on these asset application, and now people can create work orders against all these assets and manage them. So the asset, the number you're asking for is a unique number, and it was done through auto numbering. And that's what I was saying, that somewhere along the way you'll have to.
We got a question for you.
Okay.
Just hit that microphone and then go back, just like you was using other things that the microphone.
Monique, can you repeat the question?
Okay, Ron, go ahead and ask.
So that unique number has to be added to every part coming in, or every asset for that
Yes.
line? So we gotta add a stock number and this number to the part.
You do not have to add the stock number. The stock number will already be maximum.
When the part leaves the receiving area and goes into the warehouse, it's going to have to be tracked by that number because the way the system is set up. So we have to add that number physically to the asset itself. It's almost like tracking. That number won't bring it stock at one time. No, well, that's not what he just said. He said each one is unique. I get a unique number and you track that number, that asset through that number. You don't track it through serial.
But I guess is the question, once it's put in the system, do we have to add it? Like if it goes from one location to another one, do we have to add it again?
No, you don't add it again. It's already built in maximum. But now, when it goes to, so for example, if somebody orders, let me go back to inventory. In a work order, if somebody orders one of these items, right? For you to issue that item to a work order, you're not only going to enter the item number, but you have to select of these 4 assets, what are you going to issue him with? You don't have to create anything, but I'm going to show you that once you do a transfer or an issue. You have to, for anything with an asset, you have to select the asset number that you are actually issuing that person with. So that asset is going to be tracked through the whole life cycle of that work order, meaning that whenever that asset is, it will be tracked and costs will be added to that particular asset as it's being repaired, inspected, or whatever the case is. But you don't have to enter that number again twice. You enter it during receiving, and that's it.
Go ahead.
Dave,